Hello, viewers. You can watch all episodes of this video right now on Patreon. If you can pledge a small monthly donation, as low as $2 on Patreon, you can watch exclusive videos, bonus content, get free merchandise, and much, much more. Just go to patreon.com/ChristianKids. We turn the best lessons from our faith into interesting animated videos and share them online. With your support, we'll be able to make more videos and invest more in the quality of each video. So what do you say? Every little bit helps, and your kindness will be rewarded with some pretty awesome perks. If you are not in a position to support us financially, then please do pray for us. Prayer support is very important for our mission. We hope you enjoy the video. Thank you. This is the story of Benoite Rencurel. She was a poor shepherdess living in the French Alps. Virgin Mary started appearing before her in 1664 and continued to visit her throughout her life. Let us learn more about this amazing story. Benoite Rencurel was born on September 16, 1647, in a little village called Saint-Étienne de Vancouver. This little village was located in southern France at the foothills of the French Alps. Little Benoite was born into extreme poverty. By the time she was 7 years old, her father died, which made things even worse. There was no school in Saint-Étienne de Vancouver, so Benoite never learned to read or write. But her mother faithfully taught her about Our Father, Hail Mary, and the Creed. Pretty soon, the debtors arrived at their doorsteps, demanding payments. But how could this poor woman come up with so much money? They had become so poor by now that some days they only had stale bread and water. By the time Benoite was 12 years old, she took employment for 2 masters at the same time. She started looking after their sheep in return for a small payment. She loved this job as it gave her plenty of time to pray. She had turned 17 years old by now. One fine day, she was shepherding the flocks as usual. She was praying the rosary and watching the flock. Suddenly, an old man, dressed in vestments of the previous bishop, came to her and asked,
"My daughter, what are you doing here?"
The little girl was surprised at first. She had never seen him before, but she quickly gained control of herself and said,
"I am watching my sheep, praying to God and looking for water to drink."
"I'll get some water for you."
The old man went to a well, which Benoite had never seen there before. She had been to this place so many times, but never did she notice that well.
You are so beautiful. Are you an angel or Jesus?
I am Maurice, to whom the nearby chapel is dedicated. My daughter, do not come back to this place. It is part of a different territory. The guards here would take your flock if they found it here. Go to the valley above Saint-Étienne. That is where you will find the Mother of God.
But sir, he is in heaven. How can I see her there?
Yes, she is in heaven, and on earth too when she wants.
Early the next morning, Benoite led her flock to the rocky valley of Laus. She had just arrived in front of a little grotto on the site. It was then that she saw a lady of incomparable beauty standing before her. She was holding a child, no less beautiful by the hand. In spite of Saint Maurice's prediction, the naive little shepherd girl could not believe that she was in the presence of the Mother of God.
Oh, beautiful lady, what are you doing up there?
Then, without waiting for an answer, she added,
Would you be so kind as to give me the child?
The lady smiled without answering. At mealtime, she took a piece of bread and said,
Do you want to eat with me? I have some good bread which can be softened at the fountain.
The lady smiled again, enjoying the presence of Benoite. The lady allowed Benoite to hold her child for a while. Then, when it was evening, she took the child in her arms, entered the grotto, and disappeared. Benoite continued to see Our Lady as she shepherded her sheep there each day for the next 4 months. The shepherd girl's face glowed with happiness right from her first meeting with Our Lady. She shared her happiness with everyone around her. People began to wonder, seeing the change in her.
What is she really seeing, the Blessed Virgin?
Benoite did not know this herself, and she never dared to ask the lady. She had given her so much joy. Putting herself on the level of the mountain girl's uneducated mind, the Queen of Heaven started tutoring her. Our Lady corrected her stubbornness, abruptness, and her attachment to things. She taught her the Litany of Loretto by having her repeat what she said, word by word. She had now taken Benoite as her student. One day, she even invited Benoite to rest beside her and allowed her to sleep on the helm of her mantle. During this time, Benoite had told her employer about the apparitions. Mrs. Roland, a woman who had no interest whatsoever in religion, followed Benoite to see for herself what was going on. One day, before dawn, she went in secret to the grotto, entered before Benoite, and hid behind a rock. Benoite arrived as usual, and a few moments later, Blessed Virgin appeared before her.
Your mistress is over there, hiding behind the rock. Her conscience is in a very bad state. She should do penance.
Mrs. Roland had heard everything. She cried and promised to make amends, and she kept her word. She lived a pious life for the rest of her life. News of the apparition began to spread. People were talking about them all over. Many believed in Benoite, but some thought she was lying to get famous. One day, Virgin Mary revealed her name to Benoite.
I am Mary, the mother of Jesus.
The shepherd girl was not really shocked, as she had already guessed it by now.
You will not see me here for any more, not for some time.
Benoite was very sad to hear that. Benoite did not see her heavenly mistress for an entire month. She missed talking to the Blessed Virgin. It was the end of September. She was, as usual, shepherding her flock when she suddenly sensed that Our Lady was somewhere nearby. Benoite ran searching for her. When she had to cross a river, she climbed on top of a goat to cross the river. Halfway up the hill that leads to Laus, Benoite caught sight of the Virgin. She threw herself at her feet and asked,
Oh, good mother, why did you deprive me of the joy of seeing you for so long?
From now on, you will only see me in the chapel that is in Laus.
She searched the next day for a long time to find the chapel. She knew she had found the chapel when she smelled a sweet smell nearby. The little chapel in Laus was no more than a small, thatch-roofed structure just over 2 meters square. She saw the doors of the chapel were wide open and walked inside. Inside, she found the beautiful lady standing on the dust-covered altar.
My daughter, you have searched diligently for me, and you should not have wept. Even so, you pleased me by not being impatient.
But Benoite was embarrassed at how dirty and poor the chapel was.
Honorable lady, would you like me to spread my apron under your feet? It is very white.
Our Lady refused and assured her that the chapel would soon be well adorned.
I want a large church built on this spot. The church will be built in honor of my dear son and myself. Here, many sinners will be converted. I will appear to you often here.
Build a church? It will need a lot of money.
Do not worry. You will find all that you need when the time comes, and it will not be long.
Benoite traveled the 4 kilometers to Laus every day, even through the entire winter. She prayed as Mary had instructed for the conversion of sinners. In 1665, Mary asked her to stop tending her flocks of sheep in order to devote herself to her mission. As news of the continuing apparition spread, the number of visitors to Laus increased. Graces and blessings were poured down upon the souls. The number of visitors to this chapel increased from hundreds to thousands. Cures of all kinds abounded, and sinners were converted in great numbers. On May 3rd, 1665, 35 parishes converged in a ceremonial procession. Vicar General Reverend Guillaume Gallard was curious about what was going on, and he visited the chapel in August of 1665. He obtained such great graces that he was immediately convinced of the authenticity of apparitions. But Laus was not his diocese, so he wrote a letter to Vicar General of the Diocese of Embrun, Father Antonio Lambert, to make an official inquiry. Father Lambert was unsympathetic and thought Benoite was lying. Hello, viewers. Sorry for interrupting the video. I just wanted to take a moment to request you to pray for us and donate if you can. If you can donate just $5, Christian Kids TV can keep making more videos like this. If you are not in a position to donate, then do pray for us. In fact, prayer support is very important to our mission. Thanks for your time, and we hope you enjoy the video.